Greetings and welcome to Stunthangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter, and I will be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for you watching Stunthangar Video Hangouts. If you are watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunthangar Forum member to find the link to be part of the live stream and the following after party. Here at Stunthangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunthangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. If you're not a member, please log into, if you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. Now, if you're not logged in or not a member, the At the Bench will not show. That's my main point I want to get across. Now, when you register, you must use your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address or Sparky. The proprietor of Stunthangar will not approve you. If you're inclined to not come in, just enjoy watching us on YouTube. Wonderful, fantastic. Please enter your questions or comments in the chat box, and I'll do my best to make your comments or questions part of the show. Now, understand, sometimes I can't get a word in myself, so be patient, and I will ask our illustrious panel your question or state your comments. And by the way, you only can do that during a live stream. So like I said, I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you find Stunthangar Video Hangouts that I host, or the many building videos, Saturday at John's, flying at the field, the contest coverage that Sparky does on this platform, informative and enjoyable, please hit the thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Subscribe, and when you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell and select all so that you'll be notified when, Sparky or I will be notified. I got that all backwards. You'll be notified when Sparky or myself comes on. Anyways, let me just pause for a second, take a deep breath. Okay. Now, when you register, you're going to get special emojis that Sparky and I can see in the YouTube chat box, and you get unlimited YouTube videos that Sparky has on his platform that are for members only. And then once a month, Sparky has a question and answer show for members only. Now that's when you join the YouTube memberships I'm talking about. Now when you subscribe, you just get the regular programming, which is including all the ones that Sparky does and these programs that I do. Okay, but consider joining our YouTube channel, which is only $4.99 a month, and that helps support myself and Sparky, because there's a lot of expenses going out to do all this, and it just helps. So we're not even talking about a cup of coffee at Starbucks, $4.99, so a fancy coffee. So and as you also can go over here to the super chat and donate any amount you like. Okay, and I want to let you know that I really appreciate your past, your present, and future support. You are making it happen. Also want to let you know that this is Sparky's YouTube channel, so I'm only in here twice a week, Monday and Friday nights. So if you want to get in touch with me, go to my YouTube channel, which is called Flying Control Line Stunt. That's Flying Control Line Stunt. And if you would go to the 2019 AMA National Championship video, which Sparky shot with his camera of me flying his beautiful Junar XL. And if you put a comment or question there, see, I'll be notified right away because that's my channel and I'll be able to respond to you quickly. And by the way, Sparky has refinished that. At that when I flew it, it was predominantly orange, and now it's predominantly white. looks great, looks beautiful, and it's lighter. So I only can imagine that it even flies better, which that plane was already a good flying plane. Sparky says that's his best flying plane. So anyways, without any further, one last thing, please keep the conversations family room friendly. In other words, please don't do things or say things you wouldn't do or say around your own children or grandchildren. Without any further ado, I'm going to post a link now at stunthangar.com. And then I'm going to go to what I call the control panel, so I can see how the stream is going and see who's in there and see who's in the chat box. And we go there now. I hope everybody had a great weekend. It's a new week, May 16th. And I went flying today. It was great. We had myself, Dave Sabon, Jim Hoffman, and Carl Reed out there. And I actually took out my SV11, my electric plane. And you know what? I really am excited about the SV11 electric. I don't know if you've been watching the show, but I think about a month or so ago, I pretty much said that was my worst flying plane. And that's nothing against the SV11. It's just mine. And I actually did diagnose the problem. I had a carbon fiber shaft that was flexing and a little bit, and then the end was flexing as well because the ball link was toward the end of the threads. So I'm happy to report that she turns really nice, and I'm really excited about finishing trimming her out. Hey, Mike, how are you doing?
Tired.
Well, I hope once the crowd gets in, we can hear a really good report about the triple tree.
Yes, I have. I got lots of stuff to share with you. I got lots of pictures, lots of goodies that I picked up while I was there. I did a pretty decent 4-minute video of the learning center there at Triple Tree, which has all control line planes all the way around the wall that were donated to Triple Tree. Well, Bob Shaw bought a lot of them. He commissioned people to build airplanes. Just about anything you can imagine is up there. Dave Fitzgerald's Thunder Gazer is hanging up there. He donated it the last time he was there. So I've got a little video of that. A little nighttime video of the Pulse Jet flying. That was a huge hit.
I saw that. I saw that on your control line channel on Facebook.
Yeah, even the head guys at Triple Tree came down and shot a live video and put it on the Joe Null fly-in site that night. We had 75 people down there watching. They were 4 rows deep to come down to that. So that was good. Contest was good. We had one really bad wind day Thursday. Nobody was able to fly except first thing in the morning and last thing in the day. So we basically lost a whole day of flying while we were there. But yeah, I got a lot of stuff to share. So I hope you can.
That's great. I look forward to it. Thank you very much. That's going to really help out on Monday night. So that's great. Looks like Gary Sinclair is making his way in here. His audio now is getting connected, and his video should show up momentarily. And Tom Rammel says, like provided. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. And right now we have 9 concurrent viewers and 6 likes. So if you haven't hit the like button, please smash that or nudge it or do something. Please do that. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Please do that. Hey, Gary, how you doing?
Good.
Great. I almost called you at least 3 or 4 times, but I got to get this done.
Yeah.
My wife called me or my kids want me. It's just been, but I've been thinking about it.
Right.
Yeah,
I was going to get on Friday night and I completely forgot.
Oh, wow.
I was just so into model airplane mode and so tired and my brain was so fried. I was in bed at like 9:45 on Friday night sleeping.
I missed you. I actually was thinking,
Yeah.
what's up with Mike Lonke? Did you think to Gary? Did you think about where's Mike Lonke?
Yeah.
I plain forgot. I forgot and went to bed because man, we flew our butts off on the days we could fly. So
that's great. Hey, John, how you doing, buddy? I know you got your food there in your mouth like a waitress. How you doing? And you're like, yeah, good. Yeah, I understand that. So now we have 10 concurrent likes. I mean, 10 concurrent viewers, and we only have 6 likes. So please smash that like button. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, please. That helps the analytics of the program. And it doesn't cost you anything. You know, I'm not even talking about the super chat or the join the YouTube channel, which does cost a little bit of money, but just to give us thumbs up, that's just do it. It won't cost you a penny. Well, John, I'm going to tell this over and over again, but she turns. She turns. Yeah, so I don't know if you're aware, Mike, my SV11, I discovered that what happened, how I discovered it was I was holding my flap.
I watched the replay of Friday's show. I watched it yesterday when I was just laying in bed, kind of taking a nap. I heard you say that the ball link was only on by just a couple of threads and it was moving there. So
Yes.
I'm glad you got that figured out.
And even I found that the carbon fiber does flex a little bit. So I cut it in the center and then I put drill rod down both ends of it and JB welded together. So now it's really, when I hold the flap, it's like it's solid in both directions, which was weird. Is that before it would flex in one direction, but it wouldn't flex when I tried to lower the elevator. It would be rigid. I don't understand why it would only flex in one direction. But anyways, I fixed that, and it still didn't turn the very first time. But now I'm able to adjust it out because I adjusted through the push rods. But weeks before, months ago, I was adjusting push rods left and right, going back and making sure everything came to zero at the same time, and nothing seemed to help my SV11. But today I saw it actually progress to the point where I couldn't tell the difference at this point between insides and outsides.
Very good.
There is a little difference, but it's very minuscule. And these are short flights. The first one was long, but the other trim ones were all short. So I haven't done a pattern yet. And so hopefully this Friday, when I fly again, I'll put it through its paces, and I might be able to see where there's a little bit of variance or difference in the turning.
Probably the difference you're getting, Charles, is between the push rod being in compression or being pulled.
Right. But I think I can adjust that out with the adjustments I have available to me.
Very possible.
Yeah, Bob mentioned this, but I actually started doing this a couple of years ago. I actually made the push rod coming from the bell crank. I make that adjustable, and that is, I mean, traditional fixed to, if a plane turns, if there's asymmetry the way it turns, traditionally I'd say to adjust the push rod between the flap and the elevator horn. And I did get some good things out of that, but when I was done, the plane would fly with an attitude either up or a little bit down to get the turn the same. And I didn't like that, because when you do the 4-leaf clover, you're going from right to left, then from left to right. So one time the plane is ascending, and the other way the plane is descending. I didn't like that. So being able to adjust your push rod from your bell crank to the flap horn, to me, is a game changer. I use a left hand and right hand thread on both push rods. So I just put a wrench and I could just turn it. So I'm real excited about it, because like I said before, my SV11, not that the model is a bad model, but mine, the one I owned, was terrible. It was the worst plane in my whole fleet. And now it might end up being the very best that I have until I finish Precious Balsa. Because nothing beats a plane you build. I mean, an ARF can only be so good, right?
Yeah. Hey, Charles, I'll be back in a minute. I got to go get the kids in bed.
All right, thanks, Mike. Thanks for coming in early, man. I appreciate that. And we have the person again from, I need to see that country in front of me to be able to pronounce it, but Azerbaijan, or help me out, John.
Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan. I believe that person's here, and there's a little bit of script there in whatever language they use.
Acrylic.
What's it called?
Acrylic.
Acrylic. It's in acrylic. I don't know. I can't read acrylic. But anyways, thank you very much. Hopefully you understand what I'm saying. And then Tom Rammel says, the pushrod flexes more in compression versus tension. Right. That's what I experienced, but I believe I'm going to be able to adjust that out by just varying the length on the other pushrod. And then Tom Rammel says, John just said the same thing. Yeah. I imagine I didn't get to your text in time, and then John said it. Hey, Howard Rush, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Great.
Okay.
So I went flying today with the SV11. Did you hear about that, Howard?
No.
Yeah, and it's flying really good.
Well, good.
Yes, it's definitely coming along. I really see some good potential because when I made adjustments, now I can actually real time see a definitive change. Where before I was just trying all kinds of stuff and it just would continue to fly bad. But now it's progressing. I did a bunch of short flights. We had Jim Hoffman out there today with us,
Cool.
and Dave Sabon and Carl Reed and myself.
Cool.
What are you doing there, Howard?
I'm putting together the electronics bay of my new.
And your new dog?
Yeah.
Very good.
I talked to Brent on the phone a
Uh-huh.
little bit ago and got a report they did fly Gordon's new twin this weekend.
You did?
Yeah, they did. And those little Magnum 15s,
Right.
XLs, on an 8.4 prop, it's turning like 14,000 RPM apparently. I mean, and
Wow.
it was doing like four point something laps.
Wow.
And it's anyway, I suggested that with the compression as high as it is, because they said it would start up the glow driver.
Wow.
I said, well, maybe you want to try FAI fuel in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gave you most of what I have. You little pig.
Me?
The prop you said was a eight by what that they're using?
8.4.
8.4. Now is that pretty typical for a 15 or?
Yeah. 8.4, 9.4. 9.4 has really pushed it.
Okay.
The one Howard has a, I don't know if they're cut down any, but they started out as 9.4s.
Yeah. Going uphill, it slows down quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Works real high.
Okay.
Well,
I
these
have
little
one-
ball bearing Magnums, they won't slow down going uphill apparently.
Cool.
Huh. I think I have one Magnum 15. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I'm pretty sure I bought one off of Dave Sabon. When he was flying his Pathfinder twin. Oh, by the way, Jim Hoffman was flying a Pathfinder today. Cha-ching.
Really?
And Jim Hoffman said this was really unusual for him to build a kit, so he built a Pathfinder. He had won in a raffle at some contest, so he put together. It's electric
Mm-hmm.
and looked pretty good.
How do you like it? Did he say?
I don't know about that. I think he did, but only reason I'm saying that is I don't remember him saying he didn't. It's really a plane for him to like he's here visiting here in San Diego. It's a plane that he can just put, in his trunk and go fly someplace else. It's not one of his treasured, competitive ships. So it's just he's just using it for that purpose. So I don't know how much you can like a plane like that, just have it in that kind of service, right?
Well, I think he'll fly it very well.
Yeah, well, he's a good pilot, so it looked pretty good. So we have 11 concurrent viewers, 8 likes. So if you haven't hit the like button, please do that. And consider the super chats to help, and the YouTube channel. It only costs $4.99 a month. And I have it personally, it comes out of my checking account, and I don't miss it. And I suspect you won't miss it either. Plus, it's support and hopefully something you love and enjoy, which is Control Line.
Did you see the, I forget whether it's Facebook or one of those, in the Control Line section there? He had a short video of Mike with his jet at the.
Yes, yeah, I saw
You see
that.
it?
Yeah, that was neat. I was trying to figure out what those other lights were. All those other bright white lights were. You can see the pulse jet going on, but what were the other lights that were seem to be floating in the air?
Probably drones, camera drones.
Okay, maybe I have to ask Mike. But Mike's going to show that later on. He actually has a lot to show tonight. So tonight, hang on, don't go away, because you might miss. Once we get some more people in here, Mike's going to probably take over the show and show all kinds of photos and
Yeah. If you
videos.
haven't seen or heard pulse jets on Control Lines, it's a treat to see it. They're very loud,
Yes.
extremely loud, and they can move out. I think the record is I think for pulse jets right now is close to 200, if not
Whoa.
200 or over.
Wow.
So they do move.
Yeah, I saw at Brodax when I was there. I saw Mike Palco and yeah, Dan Banjak. They were doing a tandem, with those two and doing the maneuvers. But I don't think I saw the night. I just saw the day show when they were doing the maneuvers. Of course, they wouldn't do that at night. That probably would not work out very well. But
well, you see this red streak going round and round.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty neat. It definitely is.
And it's fun to watch him do the stunt pattern with that one he's got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one I saw at Brodax, trying to remember what it was. It looked like a real plane. I forgot what it was. It was like can't remember.
Oh man, yeah, he's got a
Big.
MiG.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive.
Oh, he's half crazy, in a good way.
I think Wendy says that that Dan Banjak has more fun than is legal.
Yeah. Is he the one that has a 2 or 3 times size flight streak? Or is that
Yes.
one of his buddies?
Yeah. And on the underside it says thanks, John and Buzz. I think on the bottom.
Yeah, on the bottom of the wing.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear his Fox twin engine twin cylinder Fox?
Yeah, I forgot what plane that was on. Was it on that flight streak or?
No, that flight streak had a quadra on it. It's big. But no, it first time I heard it, I couldn't figure out what kind of an engine it was. And then when he brought it down, and I walked over there by it, and I took a look, and here it's a Fox, but it has 2 cylinders. One behind the other.
Yeah, I've seen it. I remember when the planes were down around his canopy, I saw all his planes, his fleet.
Yeah.
And I might have seen that one fly. I just don't remember. There was so much going on at Brodax. I mean, if you ever go there, John and I have been there, and that's right. One of the times I met you, John, was in John Brodak's shop.
Yeah.
But there's so much going on there. It's kind of hard. Matter of fact, I'm so amazed that, I didn't see or didn't meet Lynn Burrell, which is amazing that we didn't meet.
I look back and I realized I did meet Lynn Burrell there because I met most of the Canadians that were there. And I remember Lynn now, but I didn't for a while,
Yeah.
But he had these swamper boots on. They got it, Wellingtons, they call them, or Wellies. And the whole gang had these Wellies on. And anyway, it was a fun bunch of guys.
Absolutely. Looks like Bob Hunt's come in. Now, was Bob Hunt there at Triple Tree, Mike?
No, Bob was not there.
Hey, Bob, welcome.
Hey, guys.
Hi, Bob.
Hey,
How's it going?
gang.
Hey, you know if Denny's getting on tonight?
We'll only know when he shows up.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, maybe Bob might know the answer to this question. I got somebody messaging me asking about the legality of Spectra lines at Brodak and the Nats. Because he's got some judge from St. Louis in the Lafayette Escadrille telling him that he's not going to be allowed to fly Spectra at the Nats and Brodak's because the rule book does not show it being legal. Now, I know at Brodak's, the last time they had it, they allowed it because Will Davis and Mark Weiss blessed it. And since they're the CDs, they can make any changes they want. And since it was legal for sport flying then even, they allowed it in Brodak's. But now with the new rule change, it's legal. I mean,
What rule change
It's
thing,
legal.
Mike?
It doesn't even say spectral lines.
right.
It says a 10G pull test.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
You could make it out of clothesline or guitar strings if you wanted to. It doesn't matter.
Or spider web or sewing thread if it passes the pull test.
Exactly. So this guy's freaking out a little bit. He's a newer flyer. He only flies on Spectre, and he says, well, if that's the rule, I'm not coming to Nats. I'm not coming to Brodak's. And I said, who is this guy telling you this? Because he obviously doesn't understand the interpretation of the new rule that it eliminated material requirement. And, you know, as long as it's a 10G pull test, doesn't matter what it is. So I'm trying to reassure this guy that he's going to be okay if he shows up at those contests with Spectra line.
He's absolutely fine. There's two rules that really affect us this year, or maybe more, but there's two in particular, and that is the new Clover entry.
Yeah.
And the 10G pull test. It's not spectral lines rule. It's a
Right.
10G pull test rule. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's kind of what I'm going to message him here. So
It's
that,
perfectly okay to fly on Max Quattro lines or whatever, you know.
How's your twin coming along, Bob?
How's that?
How is your twin coming along?
Oh, good. I went up to my friend Joel's today and I shot the white sealer primer. I put the gray on last Wednesday and I've been sanding my brains out, which only took me about 5 minutes to sand my brains out. But took about 20 hours to sand it out, detail sanding. And then I cleaned it all up and went up there this morning and it's a 75-mile ride up to his place.
Wow.
I went up this morning and shot this European primer we found, or Joel found. It's really a nice material. It goes on, and just lays out beautifully, and it sands like talcum powder and dope.
Oh, really?
It's beautiful, you know.
What's the name of that material?
I don't know the name of it. I have a picture someplace here that has the part numbers. I'll have to see if I can dig it up. Unfortunately, I can't do that screen share. I've tried it several times, and it used to work for me, but it doesn't work anymore.
Oh,
Well, your reputation must have caught up with you.
Yeah.
It's fun pulling each other's chain, isn't it?
It is.
So yeah, but the twin's coming along good, real good.
Did you hear the report on Gordy's new twin? They flew it.
I'm sorry.
Gordy's new twin. They flew it this weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he has a pair of Magnum 15 XLS on it. They're ball bearing engines,
Yeah.
And he's running it was either an 8 or an 8 3/4 4-pitch prop, you know. And right now he says it's very frugal. It only uses like 2 or 2.5 ounces of fuel for the whole pattern, but it goes way too fast right now.
Mhm.
And so he's going to put smaller venturis in it. And I suggested that I didn't get to talk to him. I got to talk to Brent Williamson. Brent Williams, who flies with Gordy up there, because I'm about 160 miles away from him. Anyway, I suggested that they look at the amount of nitro that he's running. He may not need as much because those little things are high compression and they're, you know, really fast little motors or engines, I should say. Anyway, I suggest he try FAI fuel and then work up, see what it, you know, what it does.
Yeah.
But anyway, it flew real nice. They didn't get it to do a pattern or anything because they're still working with the engines. But it looks like they had to add a 1/2 ounce of weight on the tail. And so it looks like it can make the nose a little longer, maybe move the nose wheel a little further to the end, like a Cessna 310, you know, or is that a another airplane? Maybe they got their main nose wheel right up near the very front of the fuselage in the nose. But anyway, so they got a little playing to do, but it's looking good, you know.
Very good. Let me say hi to a couple people. Hey, Carl, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Long time no see. And then Mark Wise, thank you, Mark, for coming in. Appreciate it very much.
Good to be here.
Jack Snavely says, hello, all around the world. Just saying hi again. And with the airplane emojis. Thank you, Jack, for coming in. Appreciate that.
Well, Mark, since you're here, I got a
Yes,
guy.
sir.
I got a guy asking if Spectra line is going to be legal at Brodax.
Well, actually, I was watching this on television before I signed in here, and the answer that Bob gave is absolutely correct.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
the answer is they are, as long as they pass the pull test.
Okay, thank you. Because there's some judge, and apparently he's a Nats judge, is telling a guy, a newer flyer, that he can't use it at the Nats or at Brodax. And the guy's messaging me asking if that's true or not. Now, he hasn't said who the judge is or whatever, but I said, whoever you're talking to needs to go back and read the rule change and go read the Adventures in Spectra thread that Dennis has put up, because nowhere anywhere in there does it say they're not legal. So somebody's ill-informed, has bad information, and needs to catch up because they're telling new flyers incorrect information. So,
Well, and they need to join Pampa too.
Yeah. You know, I got looking at the other day, and I realized that my Pampa membership has run out about 6 months or more ago. I got to do something about that too.
Well, if you can take care of that, Gary, we'd all appreciate it. I don't want to interrupt anything. Charles, am I interrupting anything?
Not at all. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, since Mike's on there, I just I'll give you all, and Mike, of course, you say whatever you want. I just got back. I think Mike too. I got back yesterday from Woodruff, South Carolina, where we, for the 10th or 11th straight year, had activity in the new control line circles that were built down there. The weather forecast and the price of gas didn't help any of the flight lines, but we still had a great week. We had a terrific contest. If I remember right, I think Mike came in first in advance. Is that right, Mike?
yeah, I was saving that for later, but thanks. Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry.
that's okay.
No, it sounds better when someone else says it, Mike, because
Okay, all right.
I say it, we're bragging, but if someone else says it,
Yeah.
Just giving you kudos, so it's okay.
Yeah,
thank you, Mark.
I said it just the way you asked me to. But I'll tell you something I haven't told Mike yet is that I was asked to go up to the main hangar, I guess on Friday, and do a video with several other people who work down a triple tree. That's going to be a video, and it may be on some of the news stations. But anyway, they asked me a couple of questions about what I really enjoyed the most about the control line area and why I got involved in it and things like that. And one was, I just like the people that I've met in the control line world. You know, and that started at Brodak, I don't know, maybe 11, 12 years ago. Mike has been a wonderful addition to the group we have at Triple Tree. So that was one. A second answer was that when we have people come down there, and they usually have to be convinced to get on the handle of one of our little trainers, when they come off that handle, they just have a glow about them. Every one of them. No matter how hard I had to get, or Will or Bruce had to get them to come in the circle, they just have a great experience. You know, and that drives part of my reason to get involved, to get more deeply involved with Tampa, because I know there are people out there that if they knew we were there and we could tie them into someone locally, I know we can grow. So the final thing was this, and I was so excited about this. We had probably maybe 9 in expert. We had, I'm guessing, 6 or so in advanced. And most of the expert, most of the advanced, they're good flyers. They're not, you know, they're not the low end. But we had 6 in beginner.
Very good.
Outstanding.
And that to me was, it was worth the week. And one of them happened to be a world-class pattern flyer, a guy named Jason Schulman, who has just gotten the itch to fly control line stunt. And that's going to be good. I remember Chip Hyde tried that some years ago. And I was told, not by Chip, but I was told he stopped doing it because he couldn't win contests the way he thought he could. Those control line flyers know what we're doing. So we had a great week. The only difficulty we had were the nature of the crowd at Triple Tree is that we had a lot of flyovers, and we had a couple of crashes within the circle from the electric flight line, which is, I don't know, maybe 500, 600, 700 feet away, depending where you are on the flight line. The best thing about this, Mike, you don't know this. Matter of fact, no one knows this until now. I sent a note to the CEO, the founder of this whole thing, Pat Hartness, who's been wonderful to me and to us. And I wrote him a note and I said, I'm not bringing my boys back next year. I'm not going to do it because I'm not going to subject them to the danger of overflies. And while I know overflies and crashes, well, crashes are not purposeful, the result is going to be something that's not going to be good. And we had they got.
Oh, no.
Oh, Mark, you froze up, buddy. He'll be back.
Yeah, he'll be back.
All right,
There
I
it
lost
is.
my connection.
There he is.
But Kevin's got a comment at this age.
There we go. I'm sorry, guys. I lost connection.
No problem.
It's all right.
But here's what happened, and this is one of the magical things about working with a kind of person like Pat Hartness, and also a lot of years of myself and others working hard down there. And that is, you know, he talked to me about it. We met. We spoke about an hour. And he said, that is never going to happen again. And all of a sudden, we had 3 or 4 proposals in front of me that they've been thinking about to make sure that we're safe and to make sure we don't go away. because we're very important to them at Triple Tree. So I was very happy with that. I'm not going to talk about the options right now. But it's nice that you can work things out with someone who, you know, has 1,100 pilots a year come down a Triple Tree, and we may have between 20 and 40.
Right.
That he thinks that highly of us because he started in control line.
That's great.
So, and he also agreed with me, by the way, that just like they did there, he feels the future of control line in many respects rests with cooperation of RC clubs.
Yeah.
Because of the basic nature. It's also an opportunity. You know, I live in Delaware, and we have these TFRs every weekend because of the president living in the state. And the guys who fly RC, whether it be here or elsewhere, are tired of it. And all of a sudden at the club that I used to be president, there are a few guys showing up with control line planes. So I think there's a surge back, even if there isn't. I believe there is. And I'm just excited. And Mike, if you want to talk more about your experience, please go ahead.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff to share. Do you want me to go now, Charles, or?
You want to just hang on till Dennis Adamis, and he'll be in here shortly. He just says, "Hi guys, hope to join you soon. Like delivered."
Okay.
I have to miss something.
Yeah, Mark, I've got all the photos of the experts and advanced and beginner airplanes. I took pictures of the judges and people flying. I got pictures of the scoreboards, so I'd just like to share all that. And then some of the swag that we ended up with, being in the right place at the right time. Man, it pays off when you're out there.
Did they get you flying your jet?
Yeah, I got some of that. Well, I'll just show you. Mark hollered at me when I was over there helping a beginner, and he said, "Hey, Mike, there's a guy in the parking lot that wants to talk to a combat guy." And I was like, "Okay." So I went over there, and he opened up his trunk, and he gave me 4 of these.
Nice.
Fast combat planes. I don't even think they've ever been flown. They're all brand new, but they're good. You know, I believe they were fast combat planes made for the Fox Mark 3, Mark 4 engines. Well built, tough. I'm going to repurpose them with OSLA 40s and make combat trainer planes out of them for my buddy Chris.
Good idea. How did
Chris go
do down
to
there?
Triple Tree?
Yes, he did. Chris did go to Triple Tree, and he flew in beginner. This is one of the other ones the guy gave me, and this had a Super Tiger G21 on it.
Ooh,
Wow.
Had a
nice.
motor and everything.
Who was it?
Then he says, "You know anybody flying stunt?" And I says, "Yeah, my buddy here is learning." So he gave me this Rodak R4 Oriental.
Very nice.
All right.
Just handed me all this stuff for nothing.
That's great.
He just wanted to pass it on and make sure that it got into the hands of somebody that was going to use it. I'm pretty sure Mark got a few things as well that he's going to pass on. Mark can tell you about what he ended up with.
Mike,
Yeah.
Howard's dying to know who the guy was.
The only thing I can tell you, I do not recall his name, but when I met him at the circle, he let me know that he and Pat were members of the same Greenville Control Line Club years ago. So I have a note going to Pat asking him if he might know the gentleman's name.
Okay.
But when he came there, he asked me, "Do we have any combat flyers?" And I pointed to Mike, and Mike came over. But he also gave me a whole bunch of good things that are hard to find, and we gave them out. I gave them out to everyone. Everyone took a turn around a table. For example, he had probably 30 glow plugs, new.
Oh,
Yeah, he had some old Vico or Perfect tanks, just stuff that he had in his shop.
Line reels.
Yeah, line reels. None of it was junky.
Yeah.
He-
Line
he-
reel, glow plugs up the wazoo. There was
And,
3 6S batteries up there you gave away.
That's right.
3 6S batteries. Yeah.
And that's one of the things I've been fortunate ever since going down there. I've been able to get some good name companies to donate things to me for Triple Tree, and I give them away. Sullivan Products has been great with me. I haven't bought a battery yet because I get them from Thunder Power, and it's nice to do it. So when I get it, we just give it to all the guys who come. It's only available to pilots, not a spectator, not anyone else. And, you know, for me, I just want everyone to feel special. So everyone this year got a hat.
The hats are nice too. These aren't they're not garbage. These are nice, heavy hats. They're embroidered and yeah.
They're very nice.
Hang on.
They're very nice.
There we go, Philip. Thank you. And thanks for coming in, Philip. Appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime.
Nice hat.
There you go.
Oh, it's real nice. They're beautiful hats.
And one of the real nice surprises, I think, for everyone down there was Mike brought, and he'll talk about this, a pulse jet on a trainer body, and the sound was unmistakable. And the people that run the place, including Pat, asked me Saturday, that sound was awesome. And I said, did it bother you? And they said, bother us? No, we wanted to come down and watch. We didn't have time. So we have a great atmosphere down there. And so let me let it go back to Mike.
All right.
Yeah, that was something else. I was a little reticent to take that thing down there. I think I called Will Davis 5 times and said, are you sure I have permission to do this? And I think I even asked Mark on Wednesday before we did the first flight.
You did.
He says, yeah, I know the guy in charge. Don't worry, you're covered. So we did 10 pulse jet flights during the day on Wednesday, and we had a bunch of people come down. And then we did 8 flights Wednesday night, and boy, they were lined up. And then on Thursday, all day, we had so many people showing up during the day because they thought we were going to fly during the day. But it was so windy. There was just, you know, there was no flying. And I didn't want to take a chance flying that thing in 30-mile-an-hour gusts. But we just said, come back at 8:30. We're going to do it at dusk. And we had people rolling in all day, asking to see it. They wanted to look at it, handle it, you know, asking a million questions about it. And 8:30 rolls around. And I think, Mark, we had about 75 people standing out there, just 3 rows deep on golf carts, motorcycles, mini bikes, cars, bicycles. They were just all lined up. And we did 10 night flights for that spectator crowd there. And getting it off the grass was not an issue. It took right off just fine. And of the 24 flights we did, we had 0 mistakes. We had no spin-outs, no bad takeoffs. I mean, it stayed out on the lines. It took off just like it should have. I mean, basically 24 perfect launches and recoveries. And they were hooting and hollering like they were at a rock concert. I mean, they really enjoyed it. So I believe I've got a short video somebody took. It's only about 20 seconds of the video flying, but in the background, you can see all the electric night flyers that I heard someone say earlier they were drones. They're not drones. They're actually electric airplanes that are lit up with LED lights. But you can see the pulse jet just running around glowing bright orange, doing its laps. And it was pretty cool.
Yeah, so go ahead, because I'm not sure when Dennis is going to be here, but.
Okay, let me see. I'm going to have to pull that one up. So if you guys want to just chat for a minute until I get there. Let me see.
All right.
Actually, it's not that one. It's not that one. It's not that one. It's not that one.
Is that Jason?
Where is it? Okay, I'm gonna have to. I gotta move these around because I can't get to it because there it is. Okay. So now, let me try this again. I got her pulled up. Okay, there we go. Turn your volume up, guys, because this is pretty awesome. Is everybody seeing that?
Yeah, I seen an orange
Okay.
line.
All right. Well, yeah, that's the jet. That orange line is the jet coming by. I'm going to push play now. Here we go.
Oh, cool.
Very cool.
And those are all the electrics in the background there.
I only have one
Cool,
question.
Mike.
How in the heck did you see land that thing? That was dark 30, man.
I use the force, man.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair
I
enough.
could feel it. I could feel it. You know, I've flown it enough. I know where it is at all times. And really on that one, when it starts to really slow down, you just hit full up on it anyway. And, you know, you land with full up and it's coming down one way or another. It's not like it's going to go back up in the air because it's so
Yeah.
heavy, you know. But, yeah,
It's got an unbelievable sound to it, though.
it was. Well, if you want, I can start going through some of these pictures.
Go ahead.
Charles.
Go ahead, buddy.
Okay. Well, here, let's do the video of the Learning Center. This is just 4.5 minutes here, and Mark can maybe tell you a little bit more about how these airplanes ended up there and who they belong to and things like that. My commentary probably isn't the best on this because I didn't know a whole lot about them, but. Robert Shaw Learning Center here at the Triple Tree Aerodrome for the Joe Knoll fly-in 2022. And I'm just going to take some video of some of the control line planes that are hanging up in this building. Just go slow so everybody
Two Charlie
Yeah,
Reeds.
here's some voice in the background, Mike.
Some of these don't know the names of the particular models. Others, of course, we all know. There's an Oriental there. I was wrong. I correct myself on that one.
Ooh, look at that.
No, that's
Alark, Bear, Charlie Reeds, Big Job and Victory.
There's a Bob Hunt Genesis.
Colossus. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, these are models that were built for or bought by Bob Shaw, who's been a tremendous asset to Triple Tree by donating money.
At least once.
And he let them build a building called the Bob Shaw Learning Center. And it has probably, I don't know, maybe 50 chairs in it,
There it
video
is.
screen.
That's my plane, the ballerina.
Yeah,
That's yours?
No, but I got built one. I like that
Okay.
plane.
Stuff hanging from
So the walls are mounted with control line, high quality airplanes bought by Mr. Shaw, built for him.
Mm.
From the ceiling are high dollar, just beautiful RC planes. And when you walk in, there's a spectacular, what is it, a Spirit of St. Louis? Is that what it was, Mike?
Yeah, Spirit of St. Louis.
In the bones, not a flying model, but actual build. That's just spectacular. In October, Will Davis and I and Bruce went down there to help Triple Tree put a value on all these airplanes for Mr. Shaw's estate. But he was very generous. He supplied the money to make the circles. We built a pavilion down there, and unfortunately last year he passed away at about 86 years of age. It's just, it's representative of the quality of everything that's done down at Triple Tree. So that's the Learning Center. We used it once for a meeting, and it's just a great facility.
There are some pretty planes there hanging up on on those walls.
Let me tell you something. The pictures don't do them justice.
Really? Wow.
They are so beautiful and so shiny and just well taken care of. It's unbelievable. That's a Cobra.
That's pretty.
That thing is gorgeous. It's a 800 Cobra 800. I don't know what motor's in it. It looked like a 60 size. But it's everything down there is just first class.
Thunder Gazer that he flew at the 2008 World
Yeah,
Championship.
that's Dave Fitzgerald's Thunder Gazer that he donated a few years ago to Triple Tree, and even left the PA 75 in it. So the quality of the models is just outstanding.
Wow. Beautiful.
There's this SG-11 R.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's a ton of airplanes up on the roof of the building there.
The plane Mike is standing under when he shot these pictures would be Chip Hyde's biplane. I can't remember what the plane is, but Mr. Shaw gave a staggering amount for that airplane. And it is absolutely gorgeous. Looks like he's coming around to it. Well, no, it's back behind him. He's probably standing under it.
And adjacent, part of this is a doorway that you can't see. There are a couple of them. But one of them, if you go into a small room, it has 4 flight simulators that anyone can sit down at and practice with or learn with. It's just a tremendous place.
Wow.
There it is. There
Yeah,
it is.
that's
PA 200.
Yeah, that's an ultimate bike that I think he flew at the Tournament of Champions.
Tournament of Champions, yes, sir. That was it.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you, Mike. That is.
Yeah, thank you.
You done
Thank you,
good,
Mike.
Mikey.
No problem. I got more here. Let me just figure out which way we're going to go with it.
Now we should be getting more thumbs up, please. Thumbs up. This is an incredible showcase of model airplanes.
Okay, this is going to be the beginner and advanced circle.
Hey, Dennis. Thanks for coming in, Dennis.
And let's get big here. So that's Jason Schulman right there. He's the RC pattern guy that came over to control line. And I'll tell you what, he's about as likable a fellow as you'd ever want to meet, man. He's really
Absolutely.
I used to work for his father back in the 1970s, and I knew Jason when he was in diapers.
okay. Well,
He was 18. He was 18 at the time.
oh, jeez. I'm going to tell him you said that, Bob. And
Oh, that's
one of the things,
funny.
I don't think Mark probably saw it as much as I did, because I was down there with the beginner and advanced flew on the same circle. And even through the week, the amount of help that the beginners were giving each other and the advanced guys helping the beginners was just phenomenal. Guys were jumping in and just helping in any way they could. They were all pitting for each other, launching their planes, retrieving their planes. It was just really nice to see all that. There's Jason getting his electric flight streak ready. That's my buddy, Chris Moskal, my neighbor, who went down there with me. There's our judges for advanced and beginner, Wayne Smith and Mark Weiss. Mark looks like he's contemplating something very, very heavily there.
It's probably lunch.
There's Mike Scott over on the the expert circle. He, of course, came in from Texas. There's Derek and Mike Waldron and Don Jenkins. And there's my buddy Chris flying in beginner.
He did very well.
Yeah, he did we did not get as far as we wanted to because we lost that whole day Thursday of flying. We basically lost a whole day. So he wasn't able to learn the entire beginner pattern. But he did pretty darn good. So
Yeah, he's good under pressure.
yeah, he had a fun time too. That is Brian Cortese. He was a new flyer in beginner. and he actually wrecked his airplane on Friday, the day before. He had a Banshee, really nice Banshee, and he wrecked it. Well, Will Davis had this old Sterling P-51 with, I don't remember what the motor was, but it came from the estate of Dave Wenzel. And we got that thing running Friday night. Will and I actually flew a combat match with that airplane and a Super Clown. We put streamers on and chased each other around and did streamer cuts. And I'll have video of that later. My buddy Chris shot a bunch of video with his drone from above. He parked right over the top of the circle. And once I get that video, I'll share that. It came out really cool. It's really neat to see two planes chasing each other from the top. So that was
Hey, Mike, can you go back to the other one?
Which one? This one?
There you go. Yeah. When I got there on late Friday, this guy was at the circle, and he asked me if I remember him, and I did not. But he said, "You had me on a ring rat 7 years ago."
Oh, wow.
And I've been flying RC ever since. He said, but 4 months ago, I watched a couple of videos on YouTube of control line flying, and I went out and bought the ring rat from Stevens Aero, and he was there flying it. And the first 3 or 4 days, he had 20 flights each day.
Wow.
Had a great time. And as Mike said, he crashed 2 airplanes, and every time he did, someone was able to put another airplane in his hands. And he was just so grateful. A nice guy, would do anything to help you. And, you know, it's a good story.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, no problem. Oh, and I want to go back to Chris again. His 20th and 21st flights ever in his life were in this contest and as a beginner. And he mastered the wing over, insides, inverted flight, outsides, and squares. That's as far as we got. We didn't get to the 8s. But the guy's only got 21 flights under his belt, and he's flying in a contest. So pretty good. There's Sarah Marie Huff, who was our beginner winner. She won beginner.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
She narrowly edged out Jason Schulman by 2 points, I believe, in beginner.
Yes.
So it was a shootout there. There's Derek and Randy Smith. We all know Randy, the guru of precision aero. Oh, there's Liam. That's Derek's son, Liam, if anybody doesn't know. What do we got? Starting right to left, we got George Waters, Alan Buck, Sarah Marie. There's Ron Waldron in the background, and I'm not sure who's sitting in the chair next to him. Who is that, Mark? I should know, but I don't.
Oh, that's the far with the purple, the reddish hat. That's Ron Waldron.
That's Ron.
The guy, John Simpson.
John Simpson. That's it. John Simpson. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, now we're into the airplanes on the beginner and advanced flight line, I believe. Somebody's Nobler. Alan Buck's Formula S. George Waters. Airplane. There's, I don't know whose Blue Max that is. Oh, that might be Ron Waldron's. I think that's Ron Waldron.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. There's Jason Schulman's flight streak. This is what Chris flew in the contest. It's a Prowler that he got from Watt Moore, that Watt Moore got from somebody else. And Will Davis told me this airplane flew at the 1989 Nats. That's how old the plane was. Yeah, and it has been passed down from person to person.
I know the guy who designed that.
Oh, dude. Yeah, that's it. So there's the P-51 that we used in a pinch for Brian when he crashed his airplane. That's what he flew in the contest. That's one of Dave Wenzel's from his estate. That's Sarah Marie Huff's electric Banshee, and she's flying very well now. She's got the beginner pattern down pat. There's my SV11 with Randy Smith. Saw it. He walked up and he said, "Hey, take those rat turds off that wing." That's what he said. This is the expert lineup from Saturday. I believe that is Mike Waldron's Shark. That is Mike Scott's Max B. There's Derek's Matrix. He's dusted that one off.
I remember that thing.
Yeah. There's, oh, in memory of Jerry Hupt. I'm not sure who's flying that one, though.
That's pretty.
Who was that?
Who was that?
Don Jenkins.
Yes, Don Jenkins. That's
That's
right.
Don. Okay. Yep. That's Don's.
I forgot my mic was muted.
This is Craig Gunderson's airplane.
Craig Gunder.
Gunder. Oh, Gunder. Just Gunder.
Yeah.
Okay.
What
All right.
model is that? Do you know, Mike?
I do not.
What was the question?
That's a
What
Cardinal.
model is that? What is that red plane?
It's a Cardinal.
It's a Cardinal.
No, it's a based on the, what was that big Jim airplane?
Pattern
Pattern
Master?
Pattern Master.
Well, that's
Yeah,
what
based
the
on-
Cardinal was.
Yeah, it's
But the
based on the
Cardinal
pattern
is based on the
master.
Pattern Master. That's a Cardinal.
That is a Cardinal. Look at the rudder. You know,
Yeah. The
Dead
wingtip, the
giveaway.
tail tip, that's a Cardinal.
Yeah, but the canopy is wrong.
well, you got a free rein on a canopy. You know, people
Okay.
did it all kinds of ways.
Yeah, canopy and
Got one
cowl is all
downstairs that's
different.
painted like a bird's beak. I mean, the Cardinals are all over the map, but that's the shape of a Cardinal.
Yeah.
And
All
it's
right.
big, so I would bet that's what it is.
Moving on. Wayne Smith's Tracer.
Oh,
Right,
Wayne was
yeah.
there. Good deal.
Yep. And we're done with that. Okay. I'm going to stop the share there.
Nice job.
How's Wayne doing these days?
He's good. Let's see. Okay, next up, if you want me to keep going, I've got Profile and Nostalgia 30
Yeah, keep going.
to show as well, airplanes. Okay, we'll go. This was on Friday. And I have no idea whose airplanes these belong to. So there's a
I
nice,
don't know, but there's something there for everybody.
Yeah, that's a nice vector.
there's another Vector. There's a Caprice.
That's Don Jenkins again. I don't know whose that is.
That's Rick
That's
Huss.
pretty, though.
Rick Huff.
Bobby, you know who designed that one too, don't you?
Yeah, I sure do.
Yeah.
Wayne Smith's Cavalier for Profile. I actually flew that airplane at King Orange last year, and when I got it, he didn't have the timer set or the ESC quite where it needed to be, and I think it had 4.2 second lap times when I flew it at King Orange, because I didn't put any test flights on. I wasn't going to fly Profile, and he says, "Here, just go fly this." I haven't really tuned it yet, but it'll be okay. And I got out there, and it was like flying a combat ship, so I was very comfortable with it. The Nobler again. Now this is Andrew Jaworski, who also came over from the pattern world. This was his father. His father was out there with him.
Joseph.
And yeah, Joseph. Yep, and he flew as well both days.
Remind me later, I'll tell you a story about Joseph you won't believe. But later
Okay,
on.
there's Brian Cortez's Banshee that he crashed on Friday evening. That was the one that he
Oh,
built
bad.
to fly in beginner. So it's repairable though. Typical Banshee break. It just took the nose off, So that is Andrew Jaworski's Shrike that Matt Colin built for him. He commissioned Matt to build that airplane, and Matt built that plane and delivered it to him. Somebody's Cavalier.
Oh, that's pretty.
Is that another Cavalier, or did
Yep.
I not?
It is. Yeah, that one I believe is John Simpson's.
That one is John Simpson's. Yeah.
And, well, George's airplane, he flew that both days. Who was flying that? Alan Buck was flying that, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, Alan Buck was flying that one.
It's a Scorpion.
And there's Alan's Formula S again. There's the Tracer again. Now there's Will Davis's PT-19, but that's the one that from Dave Hemstraught. That was Dave Hemstraught's PT-19, and Will did an electric conversion on it. And it flies really well. Flies really good.
Very nice.
And we're back to that. So.
I know all week I watched all the videos I could on Jonal, and where I could make a comment, I said, "Where'd you? Gotta go see the control line. There's some nice planes over there too." So
Yeah.
otherwise, I don't really say anything.
This will be real quick. This is just beginner, advanced, and experts course. There was no intermediates there. We had no intermediate. Well, I think Joe Jaworski was an intermediate, but since there was nobody to fly against, he just moved up and flew in advance, so he didn't have to fly alone. But Sarah Marie in first, Jason Schulman in second, and Jim Barry in third. Then we go to advanced. Yours truly in first, Andrew Jaworski in second, and Ron Waldron in third.
And what plane
You
You
did
did
flying,
good,
Mike.
Michael.
What were you flying, Mike?
Oh yeah, you want to? Yeah, I mean, I was pretty happy with my first flight. Not so happy with my second one that I went down, but it was enough to win it. I was flying my SV11, my Brodak SV11.
Okay.
But Michael, 513 with those judges, you did good. You did real good.
With,
I know the judges, and they judge right. They don't pull any punches.
Yeah,
so that was the SV with the PA 65 and Howard's turdulators on the wing. So there's your expert class. Derek Berry in first, 599. Mike Waldron second, 589 and a half, and Craig Gunder third place, 582. So
You did well, Michael. That's really nice. I'm surprised Mike Scott didn't do better. Oh, Lord.
well, the wind was moving quite a bit on contest day.
No,
It was
I figured.
shifting. It was shifting 90 degrees. It really
Yeah.
was. It was all over the place. Okay, last one, and this is just pictures of the winners with their airplanes. These are the ones that Will puts up. Will takes with all the winners. So your winner is kneeling down in the front, and then second and third is in the back. And I don't know who second and third is. That this is profile, obviously. And then we've got Nostalgia 30. Looks like Mike Waldron won that one.
That's classic.
Oh, that was classic. Well, did we fly classic, Mark?
Well, we called it nostalgia.
Yeah. Okay. You just called it nostalgia. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember hearing the word classic while I was there. Beginner, Sarah Marie down there in the bottom. Winner, chicken dinner. And there's advanced. Me, Andrew, and Ron. And then there's your experts, Derek, Mike Waldron, and Craig. So
Yeah.
that's it. That's all I got for pictures and stuff, guys.
Very good. Thank you so much, Mike.
Yeah. Hey, Mike,
Great presentation.
was you happen to be in the circle there when the big jet crashed? Because he was right over close to you.
I was in the circle when every airplane crashed. I was over there.
Well, this is a big jet, and he's making a rounds, down to the end, but right at the end, he crashed. It just blew up, just tore it apart.
This is a full
No,
scale.
that one, that one was from the main line.
Right, the main line, yeah.
Well, yeah, it never made it to the control line circles.
Yeah,
That one,
I
you're
just heard
talking about the big turbine.
Yeah, did you see
that
it?
crashed. No, and I don't know how we missed it because when we watched the video of it on Triple Tree's site, you can see Chris's truck camper and the control line circle. You see everything right there. And when that thing went in, I mean, it exploded. It made a fireball, a big puff of smoke. And I don't know how we never saw or heard it because we had a great line of sight right there. But we must have been eating lunch or something when that happened because, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a full-scale plane you talking about?
Well, it's one of the
No, it
big
was a
turbine
big-
jets.
Big jets.
Your big RC turbine jets.
Oh, okay.
You know, they're monstrous big, man. They're huge. They're huge.
Well, I went up and walked the flight line, and I thought I'd seen some big planes, but my word, there were some planes up there with 10, 12-foot wingspans. It was crazy. And then there was one biplane up there, and then a Fokker D7 triplane that had to have a 12-foot wingspan. So I just, what does it take to pull a plane that big? So I went over and looked at a DA2 something. It was a six cylinder engine. Holy smoke!
Wow.
I've seen the 4 cylinders, but I had not seen a 6. This thing was huge. I did not get to see it fly, but it was sitting on the ground, and it was impressive as heck on the ground.
Do you ever
And then
think
they
of
had
the
a whole lot
money?
of the I did see the big turbines, and the turbine. One of the turbines was like that on one of those big airplanes. It was a factory plane. I talked to the guy that flies it, and he said, "Oh, it flies like a trainer." Yeah, a $30,000 trainer.
Yeah. You think of the money
Wow.
that's sitting on that field?
Yeah, really.
Man.
Like Bob says, it's one of those things. It's a hobby. The only real hobby. How much money can you afford to spend?
Yeah.
Man.
Hey, Caffeine, thanks for coming in. I know
Hi,
you
guys.
I got my re-up from Randy Smith. I got a bag full of PA needles from him.
all right.
And I got a spare piston and liner, brand new for 75. Figured I better get one of those while he's making them. And then I did a trade with Mike Lindler. I got me a PA40 ultralight,
Like,
Ooh,
good motor.
nice.
brand new, on run. So Lindler, he lives in South Carolina in Columbia. He's not far away. He come out there on Friday, and I know Mike from Huntersville. He comes up there all the time, and he got talking. And he says, "You got any original PA40s, the first series?" And I said, "Yeah, I got 2 of them." He says, "You got a new one?" I says, "Yeah, I got a new one." He said, "Would you be interested in trading for a PA40 ultralight that's brand new?" And I said, "Absolutely. You bet your bottom dollar I would." Because that's what I was really trying to hunt down when I was buying the 40s was the ultralights, but there just weren't any available. Well, he's building SV11 and he wants to put a PA40 in it, but he's worried if he puts the ultralight in there, he's going to end up putting a bunch of nose weight in it. So he wanted the original one. You know, it's a little bit heavier. So we just did a even trade. He came back on Saturday and gave me that. And then I shipped off his PA40 this morning. So that was good. I was happy to get that. Oh, and they give you this nifty little Joe Knoll placard, you know, in your pilot's pack. Well, it's thin aluminum and it's great material for trim tabs. That's what we did with the other one we got last time. We made trim tabs out of it. So I kept that.
That's the jet I was telling you about. That thing's got a turbine like that, and it's huge, and it is fast. Michael, how is your the other plane coming? I can't think of the name of the thing. Axioma. How's it coming?
Oh, well, I haven't flown it since I redid the battery tray. I took it to Triple Tree with me. But man, we were just so busy with everything else. I never even put it together. I
Yeah,
I
I
took it
understand
out of
that.
the box one night in Will's trailer. We got it out. Actually, it was our trailer. Will and Alan Buck came over, and we pulled all the pieces out, and just so they could take a peek at it. We just did like an inspection on it. You know, they wanted to see, because Will has one, but he doesn't have a painted one. He just got a white one. So they were curious to check out the paint job and see how it all went together and all that. But no,
I
I
don't
haven't.
think Will's done much with his yet, but he says he's got 3 airplanes that's contest ready, so he's happy.
Well, Will told me that he has had the tape on it probably 6 different times. He's had it taped off trying to figure out what kind of paint scheme he's going to put on it. But other than that, he hadn't put any paint on it yet, but he's been masking it out, you know, trying to see what
Trying
he
to
wants.
figure out what to do. Yeah. He'll come up with something that'll have stripes on the bottom, a zebra or a Dalmatian or something. I mean, you know, he likes animal print on the bottom, but he'll have something snappy. Will does a good job. When he finally decides what he wants to do, he'll do a nice job on it.
Oh, and I scored a Brodak 8-ounce Uniflow tank. These were special made. These were Randy Smith had these special made. Don Jenkins had this one because he was selling. Don was selling some PAs when he was there, and pipes and headers and props and all kinds of stuff. Because Don has gone from glow to electric, so he had this big 8-ounce tank. So I picked that up from him. Which these were made for the 75. So
yeah,
good score there.
Well, guys, I'm going to have to punch out. I have a long day today, and I got a long day tomorrow. So,
Hey, thank you, Bob, for coming in. I appreciate it.
You want to hear that?
Always good to see you, Bob.
You want to hear real quick that the Jaworski story?
Yeah.
Joseph Jaworski. In our first before the Snowflies contest, Joe came out with some guys from Long Island, Mike Chiodo and John Pasquala. They came out to fly in the contest. And after the contest, they came up to me and said, "We're taking you out to dinner. We enjoyed the contest so much, we're taking you out to dinner." Yeah, sure, free dinner. So we went out to dinner, and Joseph is first generation here from Poland. And he speaks English, but you can tell he's definitely doesn't have a complete grasp of the language yet. But at any rate, he was kind of smiling at me during dinner. I said, "What are you smiling at?" And he looked, he says, "Well," he says, "in 1980, he said, when you came to the World Championships in Czestochowa, he says, I quit my job to come see you fly." I said, "Oh, you quit your job to go to the World Championships and watch the World Championships?" He says, "No, I quit my job to come watch you fly." If I had known that, the pressure on me, a guy quitting his job to come watch me fly, I don't know if I could have flown or not,
No kidding. Wow.
But that was pretty special to me. Became one of my favorite people because of it. Interesting character.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I was very, very, very taken back with that. So nice guy, and he came to our last contest and he won one of the big major prizes. And I was happy to see that he got one of the raffle prizes. So he's a good guy. Good friend of Vic Macaluso's too, who passed away not so long back. So,
where do you know where he's from? Where Joe? He's got a pretty thick accent from somewhere.
He's from Poland.
He's from Poland.
First generation Poland.
First generation. Okay, I thought so. I didn't want to assume, but I figured he was.
Yeah, like I said, he was working in Poland and he quit his job to come to the World Championships. He said to watch me fly, and that really amazed me.
Wow.
So that World Championships was really interesting, because that was 1980, and we had boycotted the Olympics that year, and our State Department told us not to go, and we went anyway, and it was a little scary in a way over there. There's a big story about what happened over there with the stunt team, and I won't go into it at this point, but it's in my book I'm writing, so at some point I'll have that available. It's a pretty funny story. It wasn't funny at the time, actually. AK-47s were involved, and
Well, they wanted you to be the official photographer for the Polish bikini team, didn't they?
Yeah, pretty much. That was
Or something like
it's
that.
a long story, longer than I want to get into here.
Yeah.
But at any rate, Joseph was a really neat guy, and now I'm glad to see his son Andrew. He's very enthusiastic, and he'll do fine.
Yeah, he's gonna move up fast because he flew intermediate at King Orange last fall, and then he's flying advanced this year already. So I mean,
Yeah.
it won't be long before he's posting up some pretty high scores, I
Yeah,
believe.
he calls me all the time. We talk, and I answer questions and stuff. And the questions he asks reflect that he really is moving up in knowledge, because his questions are getting much more sophisticated and much more technical, and display an understanding of what he's doing. So that's good. Neat guy. So anyway, all right, guys. Well, I'm gonna head out.
Hey,
And,
thank you so much for coming in, Bob. Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
See you, Bob.
Always good to see you, buddy.
Good.
Be good.
Charles, I got two more, and I got to do this while Howard's here. This
No
will only take a
problem.
second. From the stables of Randy Smith, he gifted us a Nemesis. This was Randy's
Nice.
All right.
Nemesis back in the day. So Howard, I'm going to have to get you to sign this one too next time I see you. And also a Boston. He gave us a Boston as well that Randy built. Actually, let me show this because it's
Ooh,
got.
that's pretty.
Yeah, this is the elliptical wing Boston. This one needs a little bit of help, but we'll get her airborne again too. I've always wanted one of these, but I never wanted to build one. So now I got one.
Very nice.
I swear, I wish I could come home from a contest with less airplanes than I take just one time.
Hey, just enjoy it while it lasts. That's
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah,
enjoy it
Chris-
while it lasts.
Chris even crashed two while we were there. We left two, but our plane count was still up by 5 when we loaded up the truck. We came back with 5 more than we brought, even though we lost 2. So
That's pretty cool.
You leave them in a dark area with the lights off. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, I'll tell you, the way you come home with less is let other people borrow one of your models. I've done that twice and come home without that model both times. Oh,
So Dennis, did you overhear me earlier talking about the SV11? It's turning really nice now.
I had not heard that, but I'm glad to hear it. So,
Yeah, I thought.
What
you'd
did you
be really
do?
glad. I found that the carbon fiber push rod was flexing, and one of the ends of the ball link, it wasn't on long enough that actually was flexing too. So I just cut the carbon fiber shaft in half and put a drill rod material into it, JB welded together, and lengthened it a little bit so that I didn't have the threads on at the end. So it's now when I'm making adjustments, it's actually getting better and better. Before it was just, it didn't matter what I was doing. I just couldn't get it to turn on insides. And I'm really excited. I can't tell you, because that was nothing wrong with the model. SV11's a good plane. Just mine was, to me, was the worst I ever had. Worst of my planes. And now
what motor you got in that one?
it's electric. I don't know if the
I know,
motor
but
is.
which motor?
I don't know. It's the one, it's the one that Brodak calls out.
mhm.
Okay.
Whatever is in the
It's
call out sheet.
it's the Brodak 3520. It's a 4-cell motor, which kind of unusual, but we got a lightweight 4-cell pack for it, and the combination. It's very,
That's
very.
probably what I should have done. I put a 3515 in mine.
3515 is plenty. 3520 is just works a little less hard. And I don't know, maybe not Charles' case. My case, I had the prototype, and the prototype was heavier than the production versions. And the extra motor size, it's still just a wee bit tail heavy for my taste. So
All right, answer me one
3515
before
is not a trouble.
Answer me one before I forget it, because I meant to ask you this for weeks. When you did the Strega, what motor did you put in that?
At a 3526.
35,
6
26.
cells.
Okay.
That was the first 6-cell airplane in the world, as it turned out. And
Wow. Okay.
everybody was running 5, and Paul's always been generous about sharing information and stuff. And Paul had published some stuff on his 5-cell airplane and said it was working really good, but he was a little concerned about the heat. It seemed to be running a little warm. And I just reasoned that one more cell would, take the current load down just a wee bit, maybe take some of the heat out. And of course, the Strega was 80 ounces. It needed all the weight up front it could get. It had a 6-cell 2800 in it, a 16-ounce battery. And it actually ended up a bit nose heavy, but the motor is very, very strong. Stronger than it needed to be, as it turns out. But
I just
works.
wonder, because I have restyled that plane into a Turbo Raven, and I'm battling on what motor to put in it, and I think I'm going to try to have that one ready for October, just to have it out there.
Well, you have it built for a 35 millimeter motor?
I actually built it thinking about putting a 42 millimeter in it, but I think I'm going to put a 35 in it instead.
Mm-hmm. Well, it sounds like you just picked the motor you need to balance the airplane. You'll be all right.
Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be. But I don't know. I have to get it finished first. There's 2 airplanes to be finished before it. So we'll get it. The wings built, the tails built, fuselage is cut but not assembled.
Yeah.
So we'll see. The hardest part of the whole darn airplane were those exhaust stacks, getting those done.
Yeah, that is not an easy piece to make. It's a double curve, whatever.
I must have molded 10 of those things before I finally came up with one that I liked, and then I molded about 4 more before I came up with one that matched that one exactly. So it was a piston. And then
tell you what,
my buddy,
you're going to be in Carmichael's.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll distract Danny. You take them off his airplane. All right.
Yeah.
He's got them perfect metal formed ones and stuff. It looks like the real airplane. All right.
Danny Banjock is a master metal worker. I'm telling you, that boy he ain't a boy, but that man can carve and work some metal.
It's like he carves metal. Yeah, it's a good way to put it.
The way he does the wheel pants on that old timer, I cannot call the name of it, and I have one of them.
Yeah.
I have a kit. I don't have the plane built, but I have a kit to it.
Galloping Comedian?
Yeah, Galloping Comedian.
Yeah, the aluminum wheel pants. Think about that for a minute. Shined within an inch of their life. So
yeah, I was talking to him at Huntersville, and I told him I'd love to build one of those, but I can't find the dang cowl that'll fit it. And he said, "Well, heck, what's your address?" And he just made me one. Send it to me.
Nice.
So, but I can't talk him into carving me a set of those wheel pants. he says you wouldn't believe what a headache those are.
Yeah, I would believe it.
Yeah, I would too. But what got me, if you ever get a chance to really look at his airplane, look at where they're put together. You can't find it. It's amazing. It's amazing. He really did a nice job.
Mm-hmm.
But Danny does do a nice job. He flies so fast, I have a hard time judging him. But I mean, he's got that thing flying about a 4-second lap. If he makes a mistake, it's too late. You just have to come up with a number quick, write it down, because he's already done his 2 laps and he's into the next maneuver.
Yeah.
By the way, I was talking to Dan Banjock a while ago, trying to get him in here, and I think he's kind of interested. I just need to probably just continue to maybe help him get in.
Yeah, help him get in, because Danny's a great guy.
Yeah,
I get nervous watching. Him fly.
I think it was last week you were talking to Walter about his laser.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the gentleman who built the laser, his name is Larry Fruits. He's going to be coming to Carmichael's. He's going to be bringing it. So,
that'd be cool.
Yeah, that's it. I think he might notice it if you stole it, though. So.
Yeah, I think he would. I went and looked at one at they make a laser now. They'll cut parts. I've forgotten who makes it. I've got the information on it, but it's $6,000.
Mm-hmm.
But you can buy it through Michael's of all places. That's wild. Lasers are getting where we're going to be able to buy lasers, and and the printing machines, 3D printers, but that stuff's coming, but it's not available yet.
Yeah, the last one, the last printer that my brother got, he was in the process of course he could 3D print with it, but he had a second head for it. He was starting to do some laser cutting with it, with the same machine. You know, the same basic setup. So yeah, you're right on target with that. You could probably fit it up with a 5-axis mill head too, if you're looking for, you know, doing that kind of work too. So
it's amazing the stuff that's coming. Just think of the technology, because
well, that's it.
wild.
You get into your hobby, you know, that hobby of spending money and stuff like that. You can, it's all there. It's all can be had. So
it's getting to the point where anybody can own it, but now not all of us have the technology to use it. That's the thing. I can have it sitting here. It wouldn't do me any good because I don't know how to make it work, but I don't know. Maybe I could learn. If I had it sitting there, I'd do my best to make it, learn how to make it work.
Yeah. That's it.
I'll tell you, Randy at the contest had some propellers for sale. I finally got some 3-blade propellers to go on my Cavalier I've been wanting. And he also had some Thunder Tiger 11 4.5s. I bought a few of those. I'm going to try those out and see how they work. They seem awfully heavy.
They're good on a 46, Phil. They're good on a 46.
Yeah, I'm going to try it. They feel awful heavy to me, but they feel like nice props.
No,
There's a lot of
work
blade
really well.
There's a lot of blade there, so I'm going to try it. That's what I got them to try it on. So that other, my original Teosaki is going to be ready to try here in a few weeks, and I'm going to try to put that one on it. Put one of those on it. My original Teosaki, the one that I built with Clayton looking over my shoulder, has never had but 2 props on it. It's got over 1,100 flights. It's had 2 propellers on it. They've been cleaned up half a dozen times.
Wow, that's great.
But it's never had but just 2 props on it. And I go back and forth between a 12-4 APC cut down to 11 3/4 4. And I don't know why I cut it down, just for an experiment. That didn't need doing. And the other one's a 12 1/4 3.75, something like that. Also an APC. And that plane just works. I don't know. It's always just worked. Clayton got to see it before he got really sick. That tickled me more than anything. He said that one flies better than any of them. And the reason is it don't have a trim tab on it. Didn't need a trim tab. We figured out what it needed and did it. Just lowered the lines way down in the wing, and it just flies level and does everything without being in a bind from a darn trim tab. I hate trim tabs.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, what size lines did you end up using on the SV11?
1864.
18 as in steel?
Yes.
Oh my. I'm shocked.
Oh my. Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. Yeah.
Indeed.
I'm shocked too. I figured it better.
I haven't done anything bigger than a 46 yet with the Spectra because I don't have any. And I haven't ordered. So
Okay.
Don't have any 100-pound. I'll make up.
no, I'm out of 100-pound Max Quattro, and I need to get on the stick and get some here quick before the Nats because I only have actually 2 sets of combat lines right now, and I'm going to need a lot more than that before Muncie. So
yeah, we've got a place here that sells transit damage freight and stuff, and they got in a whole bunch of Quattro, but it's not the Max Quattro. It's the regular stuff.
I just
I was over
wrote
today. I was over today, and I had 4 rolls out in my hand. I looked at it, and I said, "Oh crap, that's not the Max Quattro. It won't work. It's the big stuff." It might work, but I didn't buy it.
Oh, it'll
$9.95 a
work
roll.
just fine. It'll just be sub-optimized. That's all. So
Yeah, there's $9 a roll. I should have bought it, but I didn't. I just said the heck with it. I'm going to wait and get the right stuff. But I wanted yellow, and all they had was dark green.
yeah, that's kind of a pain. I did finally find I was able to mix them. All I could find was Max Quattro in green, and then I waited, and I was able to get a roll of white. So I've got, I made up 4 sets of 50-pound lines with a green line and a white line. So I figure I'll be visible and in green grass or in brown grass. So
Yeah,
should be good.
I got some dye that goes fishing lures. You dye the worms, dip it in, and the line was on an old spool, and I just put them on an old spool, and just poured some of that around it. And I thought it would be an even dye job. No, looks like leopard stripes, but at least you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
It did not turn out near as even as I had hoped, but you can see it. So it's much better than it was with that dark green. The dark green laid across the asphalt.
You can buy it that way. You know, the line made that way. They call it camo, and that's the way it is. It's white and black and green and this. Yeah.
That's pretty camo. You lay it on the asphalt and it disappears. You lay it in the grass, it disappears.
Yeah.
The guys step on it and get all tangled up in it. They didn't see it. I mean, you can't fault them. They really didn't see it. So I can't see it, and I'm the youngest one out there. So whatever.
Oh, well. I'm afraid we just lost John.
Yeah, he was waving us goodbye.
Yeah, he did wave. So.
Oh, that's a shame. I wanted to aggravate him. I might call him tomorrow and see what he's doing. I'm gonna have to get out of here myself, though. I got to get up early in the morning. I have an uncle who has a farm who's 80. He's almost 90, and he needs some help changing a loader. Now, I'm not real educated on tractors, but best I remember, a loader is the thing on the front that moves the dirt, and it's pretty darn heavy. So I got a feeling I'm in for a day's work tomorrow. He gonna work me hard or something. Anyway, you guys be careful. Have a great week, and I hope to see everybody Friday.
All right, thank you. See you, buddy.
All right. Hey.
Yes, sir. Take care.
All right.
Hello, Bob.
Hey, Bob Grove. Thanks, Gores. Thanks for coming in, Bob.
Yes, sir. Good to see you guys.
Good to see you too. Thank you very much.
Hey.
Charles, have you been able to, how many patterns you've been able to put on ESV then?
I didn't do any patterns today. I was still, it was flying better. I still needed to get it to turn the same, but at least every time I made adjustments, I was able to make an improvement. So for sure, I believe I'll be doing the pattern on Friday. When I go flying again on Friday, I'll be doing patterns. I want to find out where it turns uneven, and I need to probably just go through it and see what happens. So, but I like how it's flying. It's, I'm very happy, very excited. Very excited.
I'm excited for you. You've worked hard to get to this point. So
yeah, it's just been amazing. It's but I'm it's made me focus on the Pushrod a lot more. Because I've made so many planes with no problems, and it's just like it never was an issue. So I never really thought very much of it. But now in the future, I'm going to really pay attention to, to the Pushrod. I never had a problem until this time. I mean, when I was younger, or I might have had problems with the wire, bending, but I didn't know any better,
Yeah, I don't know. It's like the old football coach says, well, we teach fundamentals, and oh, by the way, it's all fundamentals. Everything is fundamentals. So
yes. Yes.
It is crazy how the basic thing like that. That's if with what you had no chance of going forward. You had no chance of success. So.
None. I mean, it would do a loop, but it was more like a wing over,
Yeah.
It would eventually come around, but now it turns really good, really quick.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
I'm excited. Hey, Kathleen, you have a question for us?
Yes. Last weekend I tried to fly my Banshee. At first it was I was setting it a bit rich. It has it was 5.8 seconds on lap. It was a bit slow, but I really like it because when I try to do stunt, like I'm pulling it for wing over and inside loop, the plane went smoothly, and it was so easy uh, to do the loop when I give a pull. But the next flight, I tried to set it leaner, and it has so much tension that it became the plane. It became, I think, it became stiff. You know, it's like when I tried to give a pull, it won't. The plane won't make the loop, but it's just like fighting it back. But before it was when I give a pull, it's like it made the loop. But when I set it leaner, it's just when it was going up, it was like just it's like giving you it's like fighting back. The plane didn't want to make the loop. How what was wrong with that setting? Yeah, just
I wonder if the motor was lean sagging. I wonder. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. Anybody else have any ideas?
mm-hmm.
Well, you know, when the airplane is going faster and it pulls harder, it requires more physical effort to hold on to it and everything like that. And everything can feel like you're fighting it. All right. It will turn, but it's working, making you work. There's nothing wrong with flying a stunt plane at a 5 seconds lap, because physically that's about where our reflexes all work. You know, something like 5 seconds a lap. If the airplane is maintaining good line tension and everything like that, keep going for it. The other thing that comes to mind is a variation, exactly what Charles has been fighting with his SV11, with his controls flexing. And you could be getting into a situation where, as the airplane is going faster, the control loads increase because because extra, the extra airspeed, and you could be getting into a situation where the controls are flexing and you're not getting the full deflection on your control surface that you were getting when it flies a little bit slower. Does that make sense?
I guess, yeah, I see. Yeah, that makes sense. Because one time I pull the same force that I used to imply. It was really hard to make the loop, and then I tried to give more power, more force when I was doing the loop. It was just too much, and then the plane just started to fly to flew inverted, and I just it's so much tension that I force more pull, but it ended up like it went into the inverted flight. You know,
what is the airplane? What is the airplane you're flying, Kafid?
It was my Benji.
Do you have a stiffener in the push rod between the flap and the elevator? And when I say a stiffener, I mean like even a cotter pin or something about halfway down. I'm trying to find something that I have.
I got something over here.
You have one?
I'll keep looking. So
what you can do is take a cotter pin. Do you know what a cotter pin is?
Yes.
Okay. And you get one that's sized just a little bit bigger than your push rod, and you get it on your push rod and stick it into the side of the profile fuselage and epoxy it in there. Drill a little hole and epoxy it in. So that little guide, I call it a stiffener, but push rod guide, that'll prevent any flex. You do that about halfway between your horns, and that'll put, if you are getting flex one way, that'll prevent the flex.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I realized the push rod is having a little bit of flex when I try to just
Yeah, get rid of it.
Yeah,
Get
it's
rid of it.
important, Caffeine, to hold the flap and then move the elevator so you can actually see
yeah.
where that deflection is. Because you want
Mhm.
to isolate where it's actually bending or where it's actually flexing. It might not be in the center,
Okay.
but you want to hold the flap, lift the elevator up or down to see, get it, that push rod to move. That's where you'll place that stiffener or whatever the correct name is for it.
Okay,
Did-
thank you. So
Did you try doing any outside loops? And does
not
the
yet,
con-
not yet.
Okay, I was going to say, in most airplanes, if you're pulling on the push rod, you might get to a situation where it's very unresponsive doing an inside loop, but it'd be more responsive when you do an outside loop because you're pulling on the push rod and it doesn't flex. When you
Okay.
push on the push rod, it'll bend.
Uh-huh.
So Mike, I walked away for a second. Did you have an example there, or?
No, he didn't have an example.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, come on, Dennis. Trying to hold that. You see this part right here?
Uh-huh.
Right
Yep.
here.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it keeps the push rod from
Mhm.
bending. It restricts how far
Yeah.
it can go.
Uh-huh.
And without that, what happens is that this push rod will bow whenever you
Yeah.
push it, whenever you give it up elevator, the push rod, the control force will make this, will make it bend. And
Yep.
you don't get all of your control movement. Of course, when you go down, you're pulling on the push rod. So it's like pulling on a string. It just pulls tight and it, nothing happens. So.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I'll
anyhow,
try to put that one. All right, thanks.
Caffeine, you can also use, Charles, if you want to make me big,
Yeah.
you can also use an RC control horn. Okay.
yes.
Okay.
So just drill it out the size of your push rod, slap it up against the side of your profile fuse, send some screws through it. And this makes a good stiffener too in a pinch.
Yeah. Okay.
Idea.
Cool. Good idea.
Keith Bozell, if you're listening, Keith Bozell, I know that we talked about your push rod on your Ringmaster. This is a great example for you, Keith, if you're listening.
So, but is it okay if I fly slow, but I got all the controls to make
Well,
the
what's going to
stunt,
happen
or
is even if the push rod is flexing, there's no good there's no happy endings, shall we say. Even if you're
Okay.
flying slow, you're going to get into a situation where you need to like apply a lot of control or apply it quickly or something like that. And it's going to flex and you're not going to get your control and it's just not going to be a happy ending. So,
all right,
if you
cool.
can make,
Thank you.
you have to make that guide, so the hole is bigger than your push rod. You don't want it to bind up. You don't want it to grind, and hold it. So it's got to float a little bit. But that, it'll go through a hole like that and it's okay if it just floats along inside there.
Yeah.
But it will still keep it from flexing a lot. So even if you fly slow and you can get away with it and stuff like that, you're really, I think really you're asking for trouble. You need to put that brace on there.
Okay. I will do that.
It'd be so much easier to fly too.
You may find that it's going to fly, what you think is flying good right now, you may find that it flies a whole lot better when you get all of your control motion in there dependably. So
all right, thanks.
I'd be very surprised if you didn't find that. So
I'm a witness.
So anyhow, sounds like you're making some nice progress there though, huh?
So Bob, what you been up to, Bob?
I've just been working on a little model airplane that I'm building to maybe fly here on the property. It's a little SIG Acrobat, I think it's called. And
Yeah.
got like a 15 size motor on it and fly it on 52 foot lines. And I'll be able to fly it here on the property.
Very cool.
Yeah. Supposed to be a good flyer. So maybe I can learn a little bit more about doing the pattern and stuff. And typically around here before sunset, the wind slows down, you know, and it'd be kind of handy just be able to run out there real quick and put in a flight or two.
Yeah.
And then
That's it.
I was visiting with Mike here a while back, and he was telling me that my line spread on my handle, I need to probably open up. And I've been using a Brodak handle like this guy, and I can get about 3 3/8 inch spread in this arrangement.
Right.
Between the lines. And Mike was suggesting I may want to go a lot wider than that. So what I did was I modified a Brodak handle, and I made these. I don't know if you can see this little guy. I made this little part to put in place of the cable guides that are in that handle.
Right.
And it's nothing real special, but it fits in there, and it gives me a 6-inch wide span that I can spread my leads. I'll put this in the handle here. I've got the handle with me, and I'll put it in there, and then you can see the assembly what I ended up with.
All right. I got your message, Caffeine. You have a video for us, Caffeine?
Yes, that was the video from last weekend.
Sure, just a minute. Let's see what Bob's handle looks like.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, there we go. So you gonna make it a hard point handle?
Not sure what you mean. I know it's very rigid, you know.
Oh, yeah, that's a hard point handle now. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but you're going to eliminate the cable with that, correct?
Yes, I took that assembly clear out.
Okay. So yeah, you could adjust that to any, you could still adjust that even very narrow if you wanted it. Or out to 6 inches, which I can't imagine you'd ever use anything like 6 inches, but
yeah, you probably won't use 6, Bob, but being able to go to 5 or 5 1/4 is probably a good thing.
Well, I'd say with the Acrobat. What size bell crank did you put in the Acrobat?
That's good. That's got a really small. I just built it with the kit, and I think it's about 2.5 inches or something in there.
Yeah, well,
it's a 2-inch bell crank. You probably end up with. Well, you'll probably end up pretty close to the 3-inch spacing you started with that. Don't you think, Mike?
I think he was saying he was going to use it on his Pathfinder, on his bigger airplane.
Yeah, on a bigger airplane.
That's
you probably start around 4 or so anyway, and go up from there if you need it. But yeah,
I was going to ask you guys.
I'd recommend you shorten that space between your wooden handle and the bar. You can kind of eliminate some of that extra space. You moved your handle back further, so if you can shrink that up in any way, that would be advantageous.
You can move all this up.
Yeah,
you
can get rid of some of that space, and your hands still fit there comfortably, but you're losing a little bit of leverage with that being with that distance between the bar and the handle.
Oh,
I didn't think about that. I bought the handle that only had one adjuster in it, and I thought, well, maybe I need to open it up and have the other side adjust too. So
maybe
I made a wheel for
screws. Just cut those screws. Cut a 1/2 inch off those screws or something, and take up that space.
Okay. One thing I was going to ask you guys, I've been flying everything like at about a 3 3/8 inch spread on the lines, and so I was wondering, would it be a big deal to just move it right out to 5 inches or something, or should I work my way up to that?
You should work your way up.
I say go right to 5. and then you're going to end up at 5.25 and you'll be happier. Now, you're going to get varying opinions on that. There's, you know, like we talked on the phone, there's two different camps when it comes to line spacing like that. But I'm in the, if you're jittering, I'm in the bigger, go bigger on the handle, because it's less movement and less time to get your hand back and forth. Than smaller line spacing, you're doing that.
And the reason I suggested going up slowly was because you'll find it's a really, really powerful effect. 3 3/8 to like 3 3/4 is really, really, it's a big difference. All right. Now,
That's
you
great
may end up
information. I
at
thank you.
5 or something like that, but I'd really suggest that you kind of walk your way out to it, since you never had it before. Walk your way out to it until it feels comfortable, or maybe go till it feels too much and then back it off just a hair, you know, or something like that.
You'll
But,
find that the plane will feel more sensitive.
Yeah.
That's basically what we're talking about. The further, the wider your line spacing is, the more sensitive the plane will appear to you.
Might be beneficial for some of the emergency turns I make now and then.
But that's
Yeah.
I guess that's just the point, is if it's too wide, every turn is going to look like an emergency turn. Right?
Okay.
Yes, exactly. I had the same experience when I had the spacing like six inches apart. It was very sensitive, and every time I exit the inside loop, it wiggles. Like, whoa.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Make you
Looking forward
Yeah,
to trying
and-
it out. The wind may slow down tomorrow enough that I'll go out and give it a try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try it.
Yeah, you should try it. I changed it into 4-inch, and it's way better. I fly way better.
Sometimes ignorance is bliss, and I never knew I didn't know the difference until I got talking to Mike about it.
Uh-huh.
So I'm anxious to give it a go.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Very good.
Yeah. Well, that's about all I got to contribute right now, anyway.
Okay. No
Wow.
pressure. No pressure.
There's sounds pretty exciting to be able to go out and fly in a backyard at, you know, at a
I
moment's
know.
notice and all that.
That is one of my dreams. It'd be nice. to be
Yeah,
able
that's it. That's it. Yeah, I lived up my last house up in Michigan before I moved back to Indiana. I finally had my 4-acre backyard. I had room for 2 or 3 circles and everything like that. And I only ever flew a half-A airplane out there. I just wasn't flying anything, and I just never really got out to use it. Then we moved, and I miss it. Now I'm trying to fly a lot, and right. I mean, I could be like a Pacific Northwester and have a flying field in the backyard like all those guys do. So
Not all.
not
You're
all.
going to have to put my field in. I got the
Okay.
room, but
Yeah, some of us out here do have stunt ranches, but not all of us.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I was going to call mine Area 52.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, it was going to be so secret even the Air Force didn't know about it. But
Yeah, there you go.
but then again, I guess there actually is an Area 52. So
Might be. Hey, Steve.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing well. How you doing?
Not too bad. Get that push rod made up and
I did, and she turns. Oh my goodness.
both ways.
Both ways. I'm so excited.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't do any patterns today, but Friday, I bet you I'll be doing patterns Friday.
Now you're probably going to have to readjust everything. You were
That's
Turns.
right.
Yeah, you
That's correct.
probably should start out at neutral.
I did. I put everything back in neutral,
Oh, did you?
and then I flew it, and it still wasn't turning fast enough on insides. But as I made adjustments on the push rod, it got better and better and better. As before, it didn't matter what I did. It did not make any difference. But now I see it didn't matter. When Carl and I left today, it felt really close between insides and outsides. Now I need to do more maneuvers to see the difference, but I just did I did 2 long flights, and then Jim Hoffman says, why don't you shorten your time, just so you can save your battery and get more flights out. So I cut it down to 90 seconds, and then I did like 4 or 5 90-second flights, and I was just adjusting my push rod every single flight, and it was getting better and better and better. So I'm real excited.
I forget, did you end up using a left-hand rotation prop or a normal prop?
The left-hand rotation.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't even want to go back. I love that left-handed.
Okay. I have had a lot of good luck in the last couple of years with upthrust using left-hand rotation props.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
And it usually shows up in grooving and stuff like that, but put one number 4 washer under the motor, at the front of the motor.
Right.
And give it to give it, and you may find that helps, especially if you're having an inside, that'll help your inside-outside issue.
Yeah, I think I did that too. Remember, I did a lot of stuff. I don't think I removed those washers. I think I still have those washers on the bottom.
Okay, so you still got them there. Okay.
I believe so. It's a pain in the butt to change those.
I know.
Yeah,
and
he'll be thinking for months all the stuff he did.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, that's right. I did do that, didn't I? I tried this. I did that.
And I wish I didn't glue that thing back on. I mean, it's because to make the adjustments was kind of a pain to keep cutting off. I just kept taping the canopy on, but I was having to cut through the tape, take off the canopy to have access to the push rods and tape it back on, fly it. But
once you get it though, then you won't have to mess with it anymore.
Yes.
Yep.
Hey, Lynn. My SV11 is flying so much better, and thanks for coming in, by the way.
Good stuff.
I know that your SV11, you're not totally thrilled with yours. Check your push rod. Maybe yours is flexing. Do you ever think about doing that? Hold the flap and see if you're getting any flex.
Yeah, I'd have to cut mine right open if I'm gonna adjust mine. I'll have to do some major surgery.
Oh.
I might just make the airplane go away.
Yeah.
I got enough other airplanes that I don't really need to worry about it.
Right. Right. So did you make any progress on your Big Bear?
Yeah, I put the hinges in today. So it's all hinged now.
Now, what's your technique putting in the hinges? Do you put a pin through the hinge as well, or do you just glue them in?
I just glue them in with 30-minute epoxy. What I do is I scuff the hinges on both sides and mix up some 30-minute epoxy and put it in all the slots, wipe off all the excess, and then slide the hinges in. Slide them into the trailing edge first, let them dry completely. Leave them for, I don't know, half a day or a little more. And then go back with each component. Like I'll mix up a little bit of epoxy and I'll install one flap. Then I'll mix up a little bit more epoxy, install one elevator. Go to the other side, put the other flap on, and mix up a little more epoxy and do the last elevator. I do a little bit at a time so that I have lots of time to work with it.
Very good.
I was going to show you. I put plans back and stuff and things I wanted to build. And look what I found today.
That's Adamus and Eclipse. All right.
That's a real airplane.
I always liked because it has a real thin fuselage.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, I didn't notice that at first. That is a thin fuselage.
Yeah, so I was thinking with electric, any way you can take, but to me, my thinking was back then when you made a turn, the smaller fuselage sides would go through the air more. You didn't have that wide piece of air, it's like sticking your hand out the window this way and turning it that way.
Right.
Well, that wasn't the reasoning, but Actually, it was really, really mundane, and actually I copied that from Jim Kostecki. If you look at his Talon design and stuff, he used to do that. And he did it because the blocks, the top and bottom blocks would get really, really small and they'd get really, really light, which means the airplanes wouldn't be tail heavy. When you were building
Okay.
with your unmuffled Fox 35 and everything like that, you know, they are prone to get tail heavy and stuff like that. So that was a way that he used to try to get weight out of the tail, make the fuselage skinny.
Well, with this thing here, do you get it blown up? Is that what you do? You take it down and have it blown up so big, or I see it's got a scale.
Yeah.
Or you could.
That's probably an accurate enough drawing that, yeah, you probably could get it blown up and stuff, or you could, oh, was it Flying Models? I think the number is on the plan there, isn't it? You can still order Flying Models plans.
Oh, is that what that was from?
Yeah.
Oh, because this was in a Brodat thing.
Yeah, it was in Brodak, but we had permission to use the Flying Models plan sheet, and I think it has the reference, the number of the plan on it, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it does.
CF 606 or something?
Yeah, CF 606. How big was that for wing area and stuff?
63-inch span, 567 squares.
Oh, okay.
And it's got electric written all over it. So
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. When I seen this again, I'm like, you know what? I got that USA Ama wing just about built, and I'm like, and I was talking to you about lengths of the tail and all that, and I think that's going to be this style, but for that USA Ama.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I really like how that thins down in the back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. Sometime after that, the wide fuselages started gaining favor, and the advantage to the wide fuselage, of course, is that they're really, really stiff, right? And people were putting 75s and 40 size airplanes and stuff, and that they were flexing things that they never used to flex or anything like that. So it became more important to do that. But I don't know, that airplane with an Aero Tiger 35 would have been fantastic. It would have been, I think it's just made to order for electric. I would do a few other things with it, differently now. The very, very thick stab that was in vogue that was my friend, my hero Teddy Panther was using thick blunt stabs and stuff, and I tried one too. And I thought it worked okay, although I think it was too thick.
Yeah, I have to get Flying Models a call or get online or something to see if I can.
Yeah, there's actually, and I don't know if they could do it for that or not, but I was able, a little over a year ago, I ordered some plans from Flying Models, and the guy there who's running a business said that he could lay out parts and cut a short kit for it too, that are ribs and stuff like that. Now there's no rib shown on that, so I don't know how in the world he'd do it for that. But my case, I ordered a profile plan, and he cut me a set of ribs, and I think there's some plywood doublers in there and stuff like that. Just some of the stuff that's less fun to cut, and did that for a few bucks more, and it was nice to have a semi kit. Of course, I haven't started it yet, but that's one more thing.
Yeah, I just had that put away, and I was going looking for other stuff, and I'm like, wow, there's where I put that.
All right.
Got that.
In one of those spots you thought you'd never forget where it's at, right?
Yeah.
Put it where you won't forget it.
Well, what it was is that I had one table I had magazines on, coffee table or side table or whatever from the couch. This was on the other side under some Vizsla books that I had bought a long time ago. And when I picked them up and dusted stuff off, I'm like, oh, what's that? I'm like, oh, there's where I put that. And I remembered wanting to wanting to do something like that with electric. I'm like, yeah, that'll. It was years ago. Well, Samantha finally got back home.
And
Well, a deal
so
to where,
as sunburned and blistered as bad as she said, or
oh, horrible. She probably had 100 blisters on her. One was huge, about the size of a half a dollar.
Oh man.
Yeah, we were laughing because I guess there was some other guy there that got burnt too, and Samantha said, "Yeah, look at his back looks like mine." And her boyfriend said, "Yeah, but without boils on it." But now they canceled her flight. So the flight was supposed to leave at 11. And she took Allegiant, no, is it Allegiant Air? Starts with an A. I don't know. The cheaper
Allegiant?
airline. Huh?
Allegiant?
Allegiant Air. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was supposed to leave at 11 o'clock, and they were going to be home a little afternoon. I canceled that flight. Booked them on another flight that they were supposed to board at 2, and then they changed that at 4. It was delayed till 5:30, and then delayed again till 6:15 before they finally took off.
Wow.
Got home 9:30 tonight, but went all day without eating and stuff like that.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I hate
It was
missing
just
meals.
just a hell of a day.
I hate missing meals. Hey guys, I'm going to interrupt the live stream and go to the after party. And so let me do that now. I want to just let everybody know we had a really good show. I think we had as many at the height. This is a Monday, mind you. We had 33 viewers.
Wow.
And 25 likes. There's a little bit of activity. Actually, the chat box was pretty quiet with the exception of just people saying hello. But anyways, today's Monday. Hopefully we have a chance to do some more flying or doing some more stuff in your shop and come back. And oh, by the way, I want to give a big shout out to Mike Lonke. Thank you so much for all the videos and the pictures you shared. That was so awesome. I think if anybody should just watch the show, just focus on that section and watch that. That was pretty phenomenal. So anyways, and we'll be back Friday. So go out there and have some fun, build something, come back and show us all about it. But we're not really going anywhere. We're just going to end the live stream, and we will see you later.